Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr. Speaker, this country has a most serious situation on its hands. Once more, a top security agency has acted illegally, and it's time for the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister to front. In July last year, the Fijian military dictatorship contacted the New Zealand government regarding the freedom and democracy movement. Some kind of deal was struck. The Security Intelligence Service and police raided a house where a former Fiji Cabinet Minister, Rajesh Singh, was living in Auckland. The SIS officer refused to produce a search warrant. They took a computer and a cell phone, and by some strange coincidence that only the Prime Minister can't explain, a Fijian military officer sent a text to the former Cabinet Minister subject to the raid that showed that he knew the SIS was raiding that place, his place, that very time. In short, the Fiji military knew the SIS was raiding an Auckland property. There were other texts a couple of days later. They were chilling, and I want to repeat them exactly as they came. This is from the same person in Fiji. Yeah, all over Fiji News, Fiji One, your name and picture came up. We telling Fiji One, this is actually as he wrote it, did they get facts tight according to media decree? Cause you can sue them. Yeah, don't worry, another text. Don't worry why Fiji tarnish your name. Don't worry, we defend you. Third one, yes, media, it's not confusing, because it's evidence, for his sake. Yes, media have branded you as a terrorist. There is word you could be deported. Number 4, Fiji, New Zealand talks Foreign Affairs Minister Ratu Kubulabola has met in Suva with his New Zealand counterpart, Murray McCully, to discuss rebuilding diplomatic relations between the countries. NZ, Fiji holding positive talks. Fiji and New Zealand have held talks to rebuild diplomatic relations. Fifth one, bro, you not worth a bullet because you don't deserve it. Goes on to say. And the 6th and 7th and the 8th text, all of the same tenure. Don't worry about us. You're becoming a thorn in New Zealand government. Number 9, reality check, bro. You're the culprit now. NZ Foreign Affairs Minister met ours in Suva last week. Then number 10, number 11, number 12 is the one, bro terrorist. We did raid you. Hear this? Bro terrorist, we did raid you. It was New Zealand SS, so ask them. Then you go on to number 13, the guy's alleging he's a terrorist in the text, and then he goes on to say this here, number 14, SIS raid, NZ SIS raid, Rajesh Singh house for plotting to assassinate Fiji PM. Well, you will be deported soon for being a threat to the NZ government. 15, that is the process of restoration of democracy. NZ is funding, so any unnecessary comments from you in New Zealand will be treated as impeding this process. So NZ will be informed, and then he says, hey, please don't disturb my meeting with my New Zealand counterpart. Number 16, the last text, don't worry, I don't talk to terrorists as branded by New Zealand government. That, sir, is all evidence of the knowledge of the Fijian government before the raid happened, as the raid happened, and after the raid happened. This is a military dictatorship that this government is cuckolding our country with. They leave no doubt that the Fiji dictatorship knew what was happening, and the Fiji military had contacts in high places in New Zealand, and I want to know how far was the SIS involved, and what on earth is the Prime Minister doing parked up there at Majura in the Marshall Islands, shouting out to somebody in this Parliament who's got the facts and evidence, which I'll table to the media, put up or shut up. It's time for him to put down the Mai Tais in Majura and stop acting as some potentate with his head, with his feet above the heads of other people. Start acting like a Prime Minister and get back to this country and tell us why he has got the Fijians involved in conspiracies to break the law in our country with the SIS and GCSB as well. Why did the government drop its defence over this matter and a court case when one of the participants sued the Minister of Internal Affairs? When he took action, they got within a week of the court case, and the Internal Affairs dropped their defence because they knew the SIS involvement illegally was about to come out. Why did the Inspector General throw out Mr Singh's complaint? He talked to the police. What happened? Nothing. Only the Ombudsman showed any sympathy. But nothing has happened against the agencies or the ministers involved. This raises even more questions. Mr Speaker, to close, it's time for answers, and we will get them.
Honourable Tau Hanare.
Mr Speaker, thank you very much. The Dominion Post the other day, rivals policies out of touch and out of time.